lighting keeps changing on the camera. Like, it keeps making me look orange. Anyway, hi! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Xrizz'Tina. If you're new here, welcome. And please make sure you hit the subscribe button because we're trying to rack up, you know, the fam. We're trying to make the fam large and in charge, okay? Right here in our corner of the internet. Today I'm going to be teaching how to do a halo eye. This version of the halo eye is when you cut the crease and have the depths on both corners and around the crease. So if you would like to learn how to do that or know somebody who would, share this video and keep watching. I got to do my brows. So I'm actually going to be trying a new product for my brows today, and this is from Kosas Cosmetics. They have brow pencils, colored brow gel, and a clear brow gel. I'm gonna stick to the brow gel that I know and love just because I want my brows to be popping, okay? But if you'd like to see a full-blown review over these products and how I like them and how they work together, then go follow me on TikTok because I'm gonna be posting a TikTok review. All right? They sent me black. I don't know if it's because my hand is ashy or... So that's how the color looks. I had to really draw it on to get it to show up. The other shade that they gave me was brown black, which I'm assuming is just going to be a lighter version. This is the brown black and this is the black shade. They look about the same to me. I think this one might be slightly warmer. So of course I'm going to use brown black because I don't want my brows to be super dark. So I'm just get these brow hairs up and out of the way. So now that I'm not swatching it on the back of my ashy hand, it's showing up pretty good. Which is a good sign because, you know, as much as I enjoy reviewing products, you never want to have to say that something isn't worth the money because obviously these companies put effort into what they do, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to flick this through my brows. I like how sharp it is. The color is not bad at all. Okay, so I have no idea if I was actually recording. Was I? I think I was. But I'm doing my brows and I'll be right back. I'm priming my eyes using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Eyeshadow Primer. I picked up quite a bit, so I'm wiping my brush off. But I'm tapping this into my eyelid and blending it into the product that I used underneath my brow, which was foundation, just in case you're wondering. And I'm tapping this in so that I can get the fullest coverage. I'm going to be using my Jackie Aina palette today for this look. And of course, a little bit of a black eyeshadow. This is Carbon from MAC, as well as a gel pencil. This one is from Joa Beauty by Kiss, and it's supposed to be gel, so we'll see how that works out. I'm going to start this look off with Credit. That's her right there. She's like a purpley brown, and what we're going to do with her is put her on the outer third of our eye and the inner third. If your eyelids are smaller than mine, I definitely recommend doing this with a more precise brush. Maybe a smaller blending brush, but you want to be able to blend this out nonetheless. So I'm tapping this in. Tap, tap, tap in to get the fullest opacity. And if you don't know what that means, it just means as much color as possible. And also to make this eyeshadow stick to the primer. Alright? Now you really don't want to bring this up higher than where you actually want it. I actually like to leave mine a little bit lower than where I plan to blend it out. Just because it can go from being where you want it to being all over the place very easily. Especially with darker eyeshadows. So we're just tapping this in. For some halos, people do not connect them in the middle. I like to connect mine because I cut the crease anyway to make the halo. But you do what makes you the most comfortable. So again, I'm tapping this in. And now what I'm going to do is wipe off my brush. And I wipe my brush on a microfiber towel. But I'm tapping this in now around the edges, and I'm working my way up as I'm doing it. So I'm not just tapping in place, I'm tapping and moving upwards. There we go. What this is going to do is soften this little perimeter that we've already made, this little border area. And it's going to make it easier for us to blend a transition shade into this, no matter what the color is or what colors you decide to use. And again, you can do this with any colors. You can make this dark, you can make this light. I'm just using deeper colors because I like to wear them, and also because it'll be easier for you guys to see what I'm doing. So again, I'm tapping this out, and even though even though you're doing a halo, you can still create a nice shape with this. So you can make it as abstract as you like, or you know, more drawn outward, which is what I usually like to do. And then I'm just going to connect the two with a little windshield wiper motion, okay? Alright, and now I'm going to blend in the direction I actually want the eyeshadow to go. So that is towards my tail, of course. And I need it to go upwards a little bit because I have quite a bit of space here. I also want to make room for the darker shade I'm going to be using later. So I'm going to blend this up and up and up and up and up and up and up. And keep in mind that when you're blending like this, you don't want to stay in one place because then only one part will be blended. So just go back and forth, blending in the direction you want the eyeshadow to go. I'm going to use ginger. And this right here is one of my biggest things when it comes to blending eyeshadows into each other. I like to start basically where I stopped with the first eyeshadow. What that'll do is it'll prevent me from creating multiple lines on my eye, lines of demarcation. And it helps blend the colors into each other much, much better. Much, much better. So I'm really building this transition up because it's warm. And I like warm colors. I'm tapping this in, and then I'm going to blend it out just like I did the other shade. You might find, depending on what colors you use, that your transition shade sort of takes over the initial color that you put on. But that is not a problem because you can always go back if you really want the first color to stand out. So again, blending. And you can even stop here, add your eyeshadow in the middle, and bam, have a halo. But if you want to do it the way that I'm doing it, we are about to use this new eyeliner. Ooh. Let's see. This is called Blackest Black from Joa Beauty. So this is the product. If I have learned anything since starting doing my own nails again, it's not to just be tearing stuff open with your nails because they will pop off, sis. Okay, so this is way bigger than I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be one of those slim plastic ones, but this is actually a pencil you have to sharpen, I think. Let me see. Oh wait. Oh no. Okay, she rotates up. Does she rotate down? Ah. Okay. I see you. I see you, Joa. I see you. I see you. Okay. I'm going to take a dome-shaped eyeshadow brush. This one is from XO Beauty Babes. And we're going to use this to help create that smoky effect. Now you can use as little or as much of this black as you want, but essentially what this is going to act as act as a base for your darkest color you're going to be using. So of course, girl, we're going to put some right up in here. Let me look. I'm pulling my mirror closer so I can see. Okay, the product applies really well. I would not call this the blackest black though. Maybe it's the blackest black they got, but I would not call this the blackest black. It could definitely be much, much more opaque. So before I do the other side, I'm going to blend this out because I don't know how this eyeliner is going to behave. So you just want to blend it out. Yeah, that's not the blackest black. My favorite eyeliner, if you're wondering, is from Urban Decay. It is their Perversion eyeliner pencil. That pencil is black. I've tried to replace it with so many other ones. Foolishly, might I add, because it literally is perfection. And I love it specifically for my eyeshadow. Not even as eyeliner. I just like to use it to make my eyeshadow dark. So we're blending this into towards the center of the eye, and of course you want to blend it upwards and out so that it fades. If you don't want a bunch of depth up in here, you can go right on top of this with your transition shade and it will lighten it up. So I'm using Carbon from MAC. It's the only black I have left, and I'm picking up quite a bit. So you want to tap this at the bottom of where your eyeliner started. Not up high. Even over here in the inner corner, you really don't want it to be too close to the inner corner because it's going to get blended out, right? And just press this eyeshadow right into that eyeliner, y'all. It's acting as a base. Black eyeliner is how you get black eyeshadow to not fade and to really look black. That is my trick for that. And then I am very carefully going to tap the edges of this, moving upwards. And when I say carefully, I mean just not as quickly as I did with the brown. And that's because when you get black when you get black somewhere, you're either gonna have to deal with it or wipe it off. So I'm just taking my time, like so. And you'll see very surely that this starts to get soft. And blend it up. Once the edges are soft, you can start, you know, going in like you need to. Just making sure that there's no harsh line. Now, if you have a curve in your eye, like your eye socket has a fold like mine, you're gonna have to pull this black up higher than that. And the reason why is because if you don't, it's just gonna look like you have a straight line right there, and that's not what we want. So don't pull it up too high, you know, you don't want a solid black line, but you do want to bring it up a little bit further than perhaps you normally would. Like that. And then over here, I actually like to blend in windshield wiper motions and then sort of tug a little bit at the borders of the eyeshadow, not too much, because I don't want this eyeshadow to be over here, you know. If you have a small blending brush, that can definitely help with this. And then of course you want to go ahead and connect the two, or not, whatever you know you like. Then what I like to do is take my blending brush with a little bit of the darker shade that I started with. I'll tap it around the edges there, like that. And then I'm using that darker shade to blend the black out. Okay, yes ma'am. Same thing, you start lower than where the black actually starts with the brown and then blend it out. So you get a nice smooth blend, y'all. And I am blending in the direction I want the eyeshadow to go. I'm not doing windshield wiper motions because I don't want to create that, you know, line on my eye. So I'm blending out like that. And then up in here, I can actually do those windshield wiper motions because I don't want the shadow to really go anywhere. Now, if you really want that that lighter brown shade that I used, what is it called? Ginger. If you really want that one to show up, now would be the time to add it in. But just keep in mind, depending on how light it is, it might literally take away from, you know, all of this other work that you did. So just pick up very little and build it up if you really want it to be visible. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut this crease. I'm going to take the same brush that I used to do my concealer foundation underneath my brows, And I'm just gonna flatten the brush. You wanna make sure that you're using a point, like thin brush, okay? She ugly on the sides, but she's still super thin at the tip. And that's gonna help you be precise. You wanna put this in the middle. And then I always recommend closing your eye, whichever one you're doing, and just defining the shape that you're aiming for, because if you keep your eye open, when you close it to, like when you're finished and you close it, it's going to be wonky. So if you want it to curve down or you want it to be more straight, if you're trying to get it to match your actual eyeball, now would be the time for all of that. And I even use my camera to check too. So then what I like to do is come down the middle and make sort of a T situation like that. Just tapping the primer in. You do not need a lot of primer. Whatever you're using on your eye to do this, you do not need a lot. And do not leave your eyeshadow primer like this. Oh my goodness. That is one of my biggest pet peeves when I watch people do halos or any sort of cut crease. They do not blend the edges out. Just blend it out. It might look like you're taking away product, but what you're really doing is you're setting your eyeshadow, you're setting up for your eyeshadow to blend itself, essentially. Blend these edges out, girl. And then in the middle, y'all see that line in the middle? Girl, just smooth it out. Just smooth it out. But yeah, so when you leave your primer, concealer, whatever you're using to do your cut crease, when you leave those harsh lines on the sides, your halo will not be blended, okay, at all. And don't worry about, you know, getting the primer on the rest of your eyeshadow. If you're doing this and your eye, if you're doing a halo and your product, your priming product for the center of it gets all the way out here or even right here, you either use too much or you made your halo too wide in the center. It doesn't need to be as wide as the edges are. The edges will be fine, but you want to keep that line centered and then blend it out. Okay, because it's gonna blend towards, you know, the ends of the halo. So I'm gonna take Soleil, just because I know she's safe. And I'm gonna put her right on top of this primer, right here. And like I said, start in the center with this, because if you don't, you know, you're gonna get eyeshadow where you don't want it. And I'm pressing her in so that I can get the best color payoff. And then I'm going to come towards these ends like so, and make sure I cover up all the primer. Now, same thing with the primer, we want to do that with the eyeshadow too. Only difference is you're being a lot more dainty with your brush, super duper light-handed to pull this color out, because of course you don't want it to take over the dark part. So go ahead and pull it out, try to soften those lines. Don't worry about, you know, the colors mixing. It's okay, because when you turn your head, it'll look really cool. If you feel like you want more depth on the inner and outer corner than you do the darker shade, just take the darker shade, okay? In which case, I'm using black. And tap her right on top of them edges. Right on top of them edges, girl. Surrender your edges. And what's gonna wind up happening is you're gonna get all of that depth back, but you're also going to still have that beautiful halo. I actually recommend doing this whether you're trying to get more depth or not, just because it really helps emphasize the center of your eye being, you know, a halo. And then of course, be careful not to make those harsh lines on your inner and outer corner with the black. And you might have to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth a little bit until you get it the way you want it. But it's worth it, in my opinion. And you can even pick up a little bit more of your product if you need it to blend, blend, blend. That's how your halo should look. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay. Alexa, volume to 1. Anyway, y'all, so this is the final look. The eyes, very halo-y. I don't really know what else to say besides I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you learned something from this video on how to do halos. If you have any questions, of course, please leave them down below, because that's what I'm here for, to answer your questions, obviously, you know, and make conversation. Have you ever tried a halo? Do you like halos? Would you try a halo? And also let me know if you want me to teach you how to do the simplified version of this, where you don't cut your crease and all that other jazz. But anywho, thank y'all for watching. I will see y'all in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and share this with your homies.